Welcome back, everybody. My name is BluJay, and we are back at the Reverb Outpost. It has been 1 week since our last Minecraft video on this series, and we actually took a break for the weekend. It was my wife's birthday last weekend, and so we spent some time together and some time with family and had a lot of fun, and I just didn't want to be distracted with a Minecraft video over the weekend while we were celebrating, so I took a break from that, and I had a Sims Mobile BluJay Tries episode out. So if you haven't seen that yet, be sure to go check it out. I got a lot of really good feedback from that, and I may start at least a mini-series on that to see if it catches on and people enjoy it, but it definitely won't interfere with this series. We'll still do Sunday, Thursday uploads of Reverb Outpost, no matter what. So we are back in the world today, and we've got a fairly massive project in store for today, and that's why we're doing this. Resource gathering upon resource gathering upon resource gathering. We're grabbing a ton of snow blocks because this project is going to take quite a few snow blocks. We're going to fill up at least one shulker box and see how far that gets us. Not sure yet, but we'll see what we get from that. Alongside our build today, just because we are building the mountain and it's kind of monotonous kind of work and there's not a whole lot of explanation needed, we're going to do a Q&A, and a lot of these questions are coming from Twitter because I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to do this when I recorded the last episode, so fear not. We will do a question and answer session in another episode sometime down the road, just in case your question didn't get answered, and plus we do at least one question every episode, so hopefully I can answer as many of these questions as possible while we get started on our project right now. Say goodbye to the ugly rectangle structure for the last time. We're not going to see this anymore. This is going to be transformed today, as we said, into a massive mountain. And this is one of those projects that I've had in mind since even before the series even started. I always knew that I wanted my base to look like a mountain, and I wanted the hangar bay to be inside the mountain, and I wanted everything to be kind of underground, and this whole terraforming project is going to be pretty massive. And while we're doing this, we're going to start our Q&A. So the first question that I've got for today comes from Country2303, and they want to know, project board. How are you going to incorporate that into the base? Now, that is something, if you are new to the channel and haven't seen Season 1 of my single-player Let's Play, I had a project board, and it was inside the blacksmith shop, and we updated it every few episodes here and there. We added a bunch of projects at the same time and said, this is what we want to work on in the somewhat immediate future, and some of these are long-term projects that might be out a little ways. So it was kind of something to keep us motivated, something to give us ideas. I kind of do that anyway off screen in a notepad on my phone, but it's not something I've incorporated into this particular season. My intention at the beginning of the season was to use a book and quill because it was brand new to the game, and I've used it faithfully every episode for our Q&A stuff, our comment question of the day, but I originally intended it as well to be used for blueprints, which was like my version of a project book, and I've kind of failed. I've failed miserably. I have not touched the Blueprints book since, I don't even know how long. It's probably been 15 to 20 episodes since the last time I touched that thing, which was very, very, very early on in the series. So I'm kind of wondering whether I need to give up on that idea or whether I just need to buckle down and revise it. Or if I do want to go with this idea of a project board, if I were to build one, it would probably be in my personal quarters. And that's probably a build that's going to be sometime in the near future. I've got like the relic room and I've got like the lobby all built, but I don't have the actual personal quarters of that section of the base. That's kind of my area, but I don't have my own room yet. And that's probably where that would go if I had to guess. I'd still have to think that through. I don't know if I'm going to do a project board or not. Maybe it'll be in a book and quill. Maybe we'll revise the blueprints thing. I'm just not sure yet. So let me know what you guys think of that. Whether you want to see a project board or whether you want to see like the projects being written down in a book. I'd be happy to do either or neither, or definitely not both. We won't do both, but let me know what you guys think of that. All right, first progress update for you guys. The archway over the door is about probably a third to half finished. It's not quite to the halfway point, so it's about a third of the way finished, and it's looking amazing. This whole thing is going to be arched over the front of the door, and again, if you've ever seen the movie Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, just imagine what that looks like on Hoth, their snow base there. This is kind of the feel that we're going for. It's not, again, this whole base is not a one-for-one replica. It's just inspired by the Hoth Echo base, but there are some features that are very recognizable. For instance, this front entryway, it is very, very much modeled after the main gate in Echo Base, and so it's kind of the same feel. So that's what we're going for. While we're working on this, just placing down a bunch of random snow blocks, the next question we've got in our Q&A session for today comes from MasterJack1112, and they want to know, once Fortnite comes out on mobile, will you make a series for it? Possibly. I'm still tinkering around with the idea. I've played a few rounds on my Xbox, and it's pretty fun. I gotta say, I understand the massive amounts of attention that game is getting, because it is very unique and it is very fun. And it's kind of addicting too, because you get into a match and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna win it this time, and then you end up in like 35th place, and then the next time you work your way up a little higher and get into like 15th place. The highest I've gotten so far is 7th. I haven't actually won a match yet. But it's pretty fun. It's one of those games where if you don't have a lot of patience, you probably should steer clear, because you will rage quit quite a bit. But it is a very fun game, and I would encourage everybody to give it a try at least once. As far as the series goes, I have signed up for the early access, and I think I was one of the first ones to do so, because I got actually signed up before the website crashed when the masses of people went to the website to sign up. It overloaded their servers and it crashed. I actually got my sign up in before that, and now I know they're not doing it necessarily 100% based on order of sign up. They said that it is dependent on your order of sign up. It's dependent on what device you have. It's dependent on how close your IP address is in location to their servers, because they want people who have strong signals to test their game out first to make sure it's working okay. So I'm not sure. They have not released any codes yet, to my knowledge, at the point of recording this. But I am signed up for the beta, and I'm very, very excited about it. So I am going to at least give it one episode in a BluJay tries kind of thing, like I did with The Sims, and like I did with the Jurassic World pinball. As far as the series goes, I don't know. You guys let me know what you want to see. I'm open to trying it if there are a lot of people that would like to see Fortnite. I know it's one of those games that's kind of exploding right now, like how Minecraft took off very quickly and a lot of people started recording it, a lot of people started watching it. I could see it becoming like that, but that's kind of up to you guys. If you want to see Fortnite on this channel, y'all let me know, and I will be willing to consider at least giving it a try. So the next question in our Q&A comes from Squishy Snowman. I love that name. It's awesome. Squishy Snowman wants to know, where will you go for the next season? I have no idea. And I'm kind of going to leave part of that decision up to you guys. We are still a long way off from another season of this world. We are going to stay in this world. And I know there was some confusion. I think it was in the last episode that we had this conversation. There was some confusion in my question to you guys. I am staying in this world regardless of what I do with the next season. It will be in this world. So the question that I had was, should I focus solely on one location in the next season, or should I focus on multiple locations? Regardless, it will be in this world. I'm just not sure whether I want to do one location or multiple. So what do you guys want to see? Where do you want to see me build in the next season? Again, it's a long way off. It's not anywhere close. We've got quite a few episodes planned for Reverb Outpost, and I've got a lot of really cool ideas in store. But I just want to start thinking in that direction for however long down the road that is. It could be months. It could be up to a year before we get to a new season. But I do want to go ahead and just ask you guys, what do you think? Where should I build my next base whenever we get finished with this one? Let me know. Got some more progress for you. We have finished the first chunk of our mountain. The archway over the door is finished, and we've got some ambient lighting to kind of make it look a little more atmospheric at night, and that's going to come into play a little bit later with something else we're going to include in this build. But something I wanted to show you first. Over here, this is the relic room and kind of the personal side of the base. We're not going to finish the mountain over on this side of the outpost today. And the big reason for that is I've got some other things that I want to build over here, namely my personal quarters, and I'm not sure how much space that's going to take up yet. I don't know how high it's going to be. I don't have dimensions, and so I don't want to, accidentally build something and then build the mountain over it before it's done, and then have to tear down the mountain and reshape it and go through all that work again. We're just going to wait. So we're going to get the majority of it done today on stuff that we've finished, but for that side of the mountain, it's going to remain unfinished for the time being, and that's okay. So the next question that we've got for our Q&A while we are working in the middle of the night comes from Warbringer, and he wants to know, with the new water mechanics, how do you think farms and water transport lines will change? Well, I think they're going to change quite a bit, to be honest with you. I've been watching a lot of snapshot reviews from the Java Edition players that I watch on a regular basis. The beta, as of right now, recording this, is not out yet for Bedrock. I'm hoping it'll be out soon, maybe from what I've been seeing on Twitter by the end of this week. Maybe, we'll see. But it's not out yet for Bedrock. It is out for Java, and from what I have seen on some of those videos, it looks like some things are going to get broken. Signs do not hold back water anymore. They go around and engulf the signs completely. Same thing with fences. I'm not sure how some of these farms are going to work, and I'm sure some of these really smart players that come up with new game mechanic exploits and stuff like that, they'll figure out a way to fix the farm. Check this out in here too. We've got like empty space that we are not actually going to fill in. This is all like original terrain. We're just going to take some torches and light the place up to avoid the mob spawnage. Yeah, farms, transport systems, things that require signs and water, I think they're going to get broken. I'm not sure how badly, but that's kind of why I've held off on doing anything with the zombie farm. Since they announced the update aquatic, I've just kind of been hesitant to do anything with that. Same thing with the Guardian farm. I've thought about doing it before the aquatic update, but since they're getting ready to release the Bedrock Edition beta pretty soon, I gotta feel like the actual update is just around the corner. It could still be a month or two out, but it could take me that long to find a good design for a Guardian farm, and at that point, it's like, why waste the time? Because if it's going to get broken in the next update, we'll wait till a new design comes out, or maybe we'll come up with one on our own. So I just want to wait and see. I'm not sure how badly things are going to get broken in the next update, but I do know that some things are going to have to change. Well, I've already gone through an entire shulker box of snow blocks, and I've started chunking away at a second. This is going to take a lot more resources than I thought it was going to, and I've actually already repaired my shovel, 2 or 3 times now at the zombie farm. This project is taking a long time. So we're basically framing out these skylights here for when we actually get the mountain over top of it, because that's the next step. I'm going to run a pillar or a tunnel or whatever you want to call it from here all the way to the top of each section of the mountain, so that the skylights go all the way to the top, so we can still have sky access. That's the point of skylights. We want sky access. So while we're working on this and while we continue with this project, next question for today's Q&A session: do you own any Nintendo systems? DS, Switch, Wii, etc.? If so, what are your favorite games? Now, I don't own any of the new modern stuff. The only console from current gen gaming is the Xbox One. I've got an Xbox One, and I've got my iPhone 8, which I play Minecraft on, and some other games. But I don't have any current Nintendo consoles. I do, however, have a Nintendo 64, which was like cutting-edge technology when I was a kid. When that thing first came out, that was like the thing to buy. And I didn't actually get a Nintendo 64 until I think like a couple years after they were released. So it was well, after the console had been developed and a lot of games had come out for it, but it was a blast. I can remember when I got it on Christmas morning, I just played it for hours and hours and hours. It was so fun. Some of my favorite games for Nintendo 64 were obviously like Super Mario 64. Amazing game. Like open world kind of feel. It was a cutting edge kind of game. And then Mario Kart and Mario Tennis and, the typical Mario kind of games. Super Smash Brothers was amazing. And speaking of that, new Super Smash Brothers was just announced this week. Looks pretty cool. If I had a Nintendo console from current gen stuff, I would totally look into buying that. But I don't. So, Super Smash Brothers on the Nintendo 64 was pretty fun. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed Star Wars Rogue Squadron. I had the Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, which was actually a really fun game. For all the negative criticism that the prequel movies got, I mean, I enjoyed them fine. I don't think they're as good as the originals or even the sequel trilogy that's out right now, but they were fine movies. But the game, the Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, that was a blast. That was a lot of fun. One of my favorite games to play. And I don't do a ton of racing games, and so just because it was Star Wars, definitely enjoyed it. But yeah, that's kind of my experience with Nintendo. I did have a Super Nintendo at one point. I do not have that anymore. But I loved Super Mario World and Star Fox and, all of the classic Super Nintendo games that were out a long, long time ago. And half of you guys were probably not even alive when that was popular. But Super Nintendo, that was the stuff. That was really fun. Yeah, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, those are the only two, consoles that I owned. And then I had, a Game Boy Pocket when I was a kid as well. Before they were color, they were black and white. So I had a Game Boy Pocket and had a couple games for that. Yeah, I guess I've had a few different Nintendo devices or consoles. Nintendo's a pretty good gaming system if you enjoy those types of games. So yeah, that's that. Let's keep going on. All right, so we've got a ton of progress done. The skylights are complete, and as you can see, they are actually tunneled all the way to the top of the finished mountain. I did the rest of it off camera because there was quite a bit of work to do, and I kind of needed to focus for a little while. But let's run on up here. Something I want to show you. This I have been waiting for a long time. A very long time. If you can see in my inventory, I have a bucket of lava. And this bucket of lava, if you've been around since the beginning of this series, you know exactly what it is. This is the exact lava block that formed the lava flow that came out of the original mountain. And I told you guys I was going to hang on to this. And when we finally got around to this project, we were going to put it back. Now, I can't put it back in the original location. I do still have it marked out. I know exactly where it was, but you cannot see the lava from the ground now, and it just doesn't look that good. So I found a new location, and as long as we have done our calculations correctly, this should flow exactly where we want it to. We're going to place it down right there, and it should not interfere with our windows because I have dug a little trench right next to where it's supposed to flow down, and it should not go over top of any of our skylights. So where do we want to go? Let's try jumping over here so we can take a look and see where that lava is flowing. Let's come on over here. Still can't see it very well. Oh, yes. Yep, that's exactly where I wanted it to go. It is going in the little trench. The little barrier there next to the window is blocking it from flowing any farther, and that's where it should stop. Can I please fly? Why can I not fly? Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. I seem to have forgotten how to use my elytra. Let's try this again. There we go. There we go. All right, let's spin around, and yes, that looks so good. It just brings so much more dimension to the mountain. It separates the background from the foreground. just gives a whole more dynamic look to the mountainside. I absolutely love this. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section what you think about our mountain build. All right, so I've done some tinkering. I built a pretty decent size ice spike over on the left side here, and I think we're going to duplicate, well, not the exact design. We're going to do it a little bit different looking, so it looks a little more natural, but we're going to put another one over here just to make it look like the ice spikes kind of framed out the mountain at one point, and we just decided to slap a door in there. So while we're doing this, let's tackle one more question. I think this might be all we have time for, but let's do at least one more question. And it comes from Targeted Fox. And it says, will you ever play on Windows 10 Edition? Now, technically, that's what this is. No, it's not on a computer. It is on an iPhone, but it is the Bedrock edition of Minecraft, which is the exact same thing as Windows 10, which is the exact same thing as Xbox One, which is the exact same thing soon to be the Nintendo Switch. They are all the same platform technically. So you could say that I already am doing that. If you're talking specifically about being on a computer, probably not. Like right now, I've got a MacBook, and the Bedrock Edition does not even exist on MacBook. It's not a thing. I've heard like rumblings of people trying to start what is it, the upvote kind of thing on their forum of if you'd like to see this come to the Mac version of computers, then, you know, upvote this and we'll see how many people actually want it. I've seen that around, but there's been no absolutely no information about any kind of MacBook release for the Bedrock Edition. Maybe it'll come someday, but for right now, it's just on Windows machines. So I don't see myself playing it because of that. I don't have a Windows machine. I only have a MacBook. And furthermore, it's looking pretty good. If I were to actually play on a PC, I'd probably play the Java Edition, just because I already have Bedrock on my Xbox, which I hardly ever play, to be honest with you. 95% of the time, I default to my phone, because that is the version of Minecraft that I've had since I started playing. It's been the version of Minecraft that I'm most used to, and it's the one that I enjoy the most. So I'm going to play where I enjoy playing and feel comfortable. And now I know a lot of people don't feel comfortable on their phones because they've played on PC or they play on Xbox, but this is kind of like my wheelhouse. This is where I feel like I'm best at Minecraft. I've tried playing it on Xbox, and the controls don't always gel with me, and it just feels different, even if it is the same game. So, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever play Bedrock Edition on computer. Maybe someday if it ever comes to MacBook, but I'll probably just default to the phone version, because that's what I'm used to. If I do get a PC that, you know, eventually can run Java Edition, maybe we'll give that a try. But again, this is kind of my wheelhouse. This is where I started, and you know, there's a ton of Java Edition YouTubers out there, and there are quite a few less Bedrock Edition YouTubers that are doing survival series at least. So, yeah, hopefully that answers your question. While we keep on working on the ice spike, something else I wanted to run by you guys. If you follow me on Twitter, something else you may have seen in the last week and a half or so, some pictures of a certain storage system that I've been working on. I kind of want to go ahead and tell you guys what that's going to be, because I think we're going to start building that soon. I was kind of waiting on this project to be done, and now that we're finishing this up today, that's kind of on my radar to do next. I always wanted to build a massive storage system in Season 1, and we never got around to it. I kept putting it off, and we eventually reset the series. So, storage system probably coming really soon. Here's what we're going to do. It's going to be 100 modules total, which is 2 double chests per module, so that's 200 double chests of storage. Excuse me, 200 double chests of storage, and if you're counting them as single chests, that's 400 single chests. And each module gets 3 hoppers plus the hopper line, so that's 4 hoppers total. So 400 plus hoppers a ton of iron is needed for that. So I've been slowly gathering some iron and some hoppers over the last week or so in the survival world to try to prep for that. But here's what the build is actually going to be. I got this idea from one of my subscribers. They said that I should build a capital ship outside on the ground and have something built on the inside of that. We're going to kind of take that idea and spin it a little bit. We're going to make a cargo ship, and it's going to be pretty big, but it's not going to be a capital ship, not that size. We're going to build a cargo ship, and that is going to be our storage system, and it's going to be amazing. I've already got the actual interior designed, and I've got the layout completely worked out, where the item frames are going to go, what things are going to go in each chest. I just have to finish designing the exterior, but we don't have to finish that before we can actually start building it here, because it's going to take probably a few episodes to do. So get ready for that. That's going to be pretty fun. We're going to have a capital ship or not a capital ship, a cargo ship for our storage system this season, and it's going to be amazing. Well, there you have it. That's the completed mountain, at least the bulk of it. The far right side there is not going to get done today, but I do have a question. Do you guys think that I should add some texture variation to this? I'm kind of leaning against it because it's kind of mimicking the Hoth base, the Echo base on planet Hoth in Star Wars, and that's completely covered in snow. And I really like the look of this, but maybe we could vary up the textures a little bit. Let me know what you guys think of that. But that's pretty much it for today. Let's go grab a sign here in a second, and we will go do our subscriber of the day. Let's get one more look at this. Yeah, I love it. So good. I'm so happy with the way this turned out. We'll get that taken care of eventually as soon as we get those other rooms put into place. We'll cover this up. It's going to look amazing when it's all finished. But let's go grab a sign, and we'll do our subscriber of the day. Today we are adding to the Purple Squadron in the subscriber barracks a person by the name of Mark Franklin. There we go. Thank you so much, Mark, for being so active recently in the comment section. I appreciate you watching the videos and leaving such helpful comments. Thank you for being active. Welcome to the subscriber barracks. I hope you enjoy your stay in the Purple Squadron. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all the time that I've got for today, and I hope you really enjoyed this episode. I certainly had a lot of fun building this project. It's something I've been looking forward to doing all season long and getting this place looking more natural and less blocky and square. So this is looking pretty good. I'm really happy with the result. I hope you guys are too. One thing I wanted to mention to anybody that is a patron at the $5 level or above currently at this moment, I will be releasing, maybe today, definitely within the next couple of days, depending on timing, the world download for patrons only. I do a world download for the public every 15 episodes, but I do a world download about 7 episodes in between each public release for anybody that's at that patron level. As one of the perks for being a patron on the channel, you get to access these builds before everybody else, so that should be available to you. Be sure to check your inboxes for that message, and if you're interested in joining Patreon to check out some of those potential rewards that you might enjoy, be sure to go to the link in the description below. But for now, my name is BluJay, and I've got to fly on out of here. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.